Let's talk about your appeal letters. Hi, I'm Brice Sokolowski, and I run a little website called catholicfundraiser.net that you might have heard of. And my objective with this video and all the videos that I shoot is to help you move forward with your fundraising. And this week I want to talk about appeal letters. So I'm going to be reviewing my notes, and you can find my notes on my website, catholicfundraiser.net. The link is going to be below if you're watching on YouTube. If you're already on the site, welcome. So, appeal letters. I'm going to walk you through a different perspective. You probably have your own assumptions on how to do an appeal letter, and I'm just going to walk you through a completely different approach for the simple reason these work and they're much more Catholic. So, what is so much different with my appeal letters? Well, in the fundraising world, you have two important assets. That's what I call them, assets or things that you own. One, it's your relationship with your donors, your prospects, your volunteers, everybody that comes across you. That's number one. That's very, very important. And then second is your list of donors and prospects and volunteers. So aside from asking people for donations or wondering who's going to be giving, your two most important assets are your relationships and your lists. So everything else is secondary. And I know I sound like an anomaly, but this is the case. And I just want to walk you through in just a case study of what's worked for me and why it's working. So I've been working with a pro-life organization up north out in Minnesota. Very, very lovely. And before she came to me, she was doing very well with her appeal letters, but she wanted to do a bit better. So we went off and we wrote an appeal letter very different than what she's always been doing, and that is focusing on the relationship, and then secondly, focusing a different ask. So at the end of the letter, we actually didn't ask for a donation. Instead, we were asking for something else. And we were focusing on one story. So instead of writing a letter like it's a newsletter, we were writing it specifically on one story. And specifically with this woman and her pro-life nonprofit, we focused on one story, one woman, one baby, and one baby saved. And with that, so we focused completely the letter on this one story. And at the end of the letter, we did something, this was key. We focused on two things. One, we included in the letter a picture of the mother who was pregnant, and we asked the person who was reading it to put this picture on their refrigerator or to give it to somebody. So instead of asking for money, we focused entirely on the story, and we focused them on putting that picture of the woman who chose to keep her baby on the refrigerator. And then secondly, instead of saying, hey, please donate, instead we said, hey, we're going to give you a phone call. Most of the people that was on this list, the woman had their phone numbers, and if she didn't have it, she said, hey, what's a good phone number to reach you at? Here are my details. I'd really like to tell you an update, because the story where we left it was the baby had not yet been born, and that was going to be coming up in the next few days. So with this change of approach, and I highly recommend it because the results were very, very good. So this woman, and I'm going to be quoting the director who used this approach, she was very, very happy because each time she was speaking with a donor or a prospect, they were very positive to be hearing from her. And the woman said, they seemed surprised I was just calling to touch base with the ending and not be calling about money. Now you might think that, well, where does the money come from? Well, people can add 1 + 1. And with this appeal letter, people understood what was happening, what was going on. They were very excited to be connected with the story and to hear the result. The mother was safe, she delivered the baby, and money was received as well. In fact, the nonprofit, the director, is 27%. I know it's a specific number, but it is 27% above where she expected herself to be. So that's the way of writing an appeal letter. Focus on the story, focus on the relationship, focus on connecting with people, and you'll see similar results. So if you enjoyed this video, always make sure to like below and leave a comment God love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.